Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. It's time for Manchester United to make a decision on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Manchester United are running out of time to replace Solskjaer as manager. Now Solskjaer is under serious pressure following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games, and Man United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League. If poor performances and poor results persist, Manchester United will not even finish in the top 4. And it would be a disaster if Manchester United finished out of the top 4, because obviously that would mean we wouldn't have Champions League football next season, and reflecting on that, that would persuade our star players to leave. Solskjaer is losing the players and he's losing the fans' support. As things stand at the moment, Solskjaer's job is safe. He expects to remain Manchester United manager after the international break. Earlier on this week, it did say that Solskjaer is waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester. On Monday, he flew back home to Norway with his family. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If we'd have sacked him after that game, I can assure that Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. He did say after the Liverpool defeat that Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. Only won one of them 3 games, obviously beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta. If it weren't for Ronaldo in that game, we'd have lost that game, and we lost 2-0 to Manchester City last weekend. After that game against Man City, Solskjaer did admit that Man United were outclassed by Man City, and he said the Manchester City defeat was a big step backwards. The other day, Fabrizio Romano gave us an update on Solskjaer's situation. Romano said that the Man United board have held no talks with other managers and still support Solskjaer. I hope Manchester United do not stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season. If Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign. But obviously he's not going to resign because he doesn't get paid anything if he resigns, and after the defeat to Liverpool, Solskjaer refused to resign. Manchester United must pay Solskjaer £7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024, so he signed a 3-year contract. Manchester United made a mistake giving him that contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Now, as you all know, Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Manchester United. Manchester United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be the next manager. Brendan Rodgers has verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager. The Manchester Evening News did say recently that Manchester United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. Should Brendan Rodgers replace Solskjaer? You know, would Brendan Rodgers get the best out of these group of players? Would he get Manchester United back to that level where they should be at, and would he be capable of winning trophies if he came to Manchester United, and would he suit the strappings of the club? Now, there is some United fans that would take Brendan Rodgers. I think there's also some United fans that don't want Brendan Rodgers. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. So far at Leicester, he's won the Community Shield and the FA Cup. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years, and he's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. There's been a lot of other managers on Manchester United's agenda, not only Brendan Rodgers. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has been spoken about, but I've disregarded Zinedine Zidane because he's not interested in coming to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag has also been spoken about. I think there's quite a lot of United fans that would like to see him get recommended in. Erik ten Hag has done well at Ajax. He's won a few trophies with them, and he's been Ajax manager for 4 years. But apparently, Erik ten Hag is reluctant to leave Ajax. Ralf Rangnick, he's also been mentioned as well. Fabrizio Romano recently gave us an update on Ralf Rangnick. He said Man United turned down Ralf Rangnick. There has been rumours of Ralf Rangnick becoming the interim manager until the end of the season. Pochettino, he's also been spoken about as well, but Pochettino sees his long-term future at PSG, so I will now disregard him. If Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season because he won 3 trophies in his first season. But he weren't so good in his second season. I think he got us a 2nd place finish though in his 2nd season. But in regards to Solskjaer, I think he's had long enough at Manchester United. He's been in charge of Man United for almost 3 years now. And the reason Solskjaer's lasted as long as he has done is because he's a club legend. Disregarding him being a club legend, I can assure he would have been sacked a while ago. And obviously we all adore Solskjaer with him being a legend of the club. Obviously Solskjaer endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. Ollie had a proven pedigree when he was a player for Man United because he won a lot of trophies as a player, but unfortunately he has no proven pedigree as a manager, and that is a big concern. Solskjaer has gained some managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been in charge of Man United, but there's still plenty of things Solskjaer's got to learn because he's still a young coach. And maybe in years to come, Solskjaer will emulate into an elite manager, but at this moment in time, he's certainly not an elite manager. But reflecting on our poor performances, not all of the blame stems from Ollie. Yes, he's accountable for certain things. Obviously, Solskjaer's tactics and team selections have been questioned. But on the other side of things, there's players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. You know, this season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer. because he's got big expectations to exceed, but the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager, and Solskjaer certainly lowered the standards at the club as manager, and he is in a position that he shouldn't be in. Of course, we all wanted Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager, but obviously he's not going to. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well. Despite him knowing the club through thick and thin, Solskjaer's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. You know, Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. And the reason he got the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019 was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Manchester United should be doing far better than they are, because Man United have got a very good squad. It's a title-winning squad, so in reality, Man United should be winning the Premier League this season, or at least competing for the league. But the problem is, we're a team of individuals, like a lot of pundits have spoke about. Man United don't actually play as a team. That's why we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team. That's why they're in a much better position than Man United at this moment in time. If Man United played as a team, you know, would be up there competing with the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea. And Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings. Brought Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Spent around £141 million. Plus, Solskjaer received very strong backing from the board in the summer transfer window. And the board still continue to back him. Obviously, the Glazers are backing him, Ed Woodward's backing him, John Mertz's also backed him, and Darren Fletcher's backed him. Manchester United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era. Solskjaer signed 14 players so far. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's coming. You know, he's loaned players out and he's got rid of players permanently, which he knew he obviously had to do. Some progress has been made under Solskjaer because he's got us to semi-finals. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals last season. He got us to the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager. Unfortunately, though, we lost the final. So there you go, and last season he got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. I think Solskjaer has developed the youth well though since he's come in, and he's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves like he showed he would do when he got appointed in. Manchester United have not been the same team since Fergie retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did. You know, Ferguson won 30-odd trophies at Man United, including 13 Premier League titles, so reflecting on that, he brought success to the club. But on the other side of things, Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So it does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson enjoyed a 27-year managerial tenure at Man United, so he was a very long-serving manager. By the way, Ferguson has been backing Solskjaer. But at this moment in time, the club from top to bottom is in a predicament. And how we get out of this predicament is a change of manager, and we also need structural changes at the club. You know, the players are not playing for the manager. Now, yesterday I gave you the news on Paul Pogba. Now, reports from France did say that Paul Pogba wants to renew his contract with Manchester United, but reportedly on one condition: that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So he wants to overtake Cristiano Ronaldo as the highest paid player. At the moment, Pogba receives around 290 grand a week on his current contract. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Not so long ago, it said Man United are prepared to sell Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it'd be better to offload him in January and cash in for him rather than let him go on a free next summer. Pogba may never play for the club again, like I said yesterday, because Pogba is out for at least 2 months. Because on Monday, Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Even if Pogba was fit, he wouldn't have been able to play against Watford after the international break, because Pogba's still got 1 game to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off for a 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Didn't he? Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta the other week, and he was very, very poor. And reflecting on his poor performance, he got heavily criticised. But Pogba did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. So far this season, he's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. So overall, Pogba is a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. This is why I want him to stay. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. You know, he's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. He enjoyed 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Also, PSG have been in for him. League 10 Sport did say earlier on this season that PSG are ready to offer Pogba $500,000 a week in wages. Barcelona have been in for him. Earlier on this season it said Pogba was offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has been working hard now for a long time to get his client a move away from Manchester United. Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and this season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. Man United paid £89 million for Pogba, so he is our most expensive signing at the moment. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Donny van der Beek, I think he's going in January. I'm hearing that Newcastle are interested in Donny van der Beek. It is the right decision to let Van der Beek go, because Van der Beek's not getting enough game time at Manchester United. So reflecting on that, I haven't had much of a perception on him, but I have said Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player. Van der Beek did actually come on in the 2-0 defeat to Man City, and he made an impact. He came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta and made an impact, so that just proves how good he is. I expected Van der Beek to start a hell of a lot more games when we got him. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Well, prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Van der Beek, saying that Van der Beek's frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. Van der Beek's endured a difficult 19 months at the club. This season is Van der Beek's second full season at Man United. Got him for 40 million, with add-ons included. He's got a contract with the club till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, I think he's going next year. Lingard doesn't really get in the team, does he? He's played a few games though this season. I think Solskjaer mentioned that he wants Lingard to stay. Lingard, he's wanting to run down his contract. His current contract at Man United expires next summer. Earlier on this season, Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer because of 2 players. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. Risen up our academy in that. The second half of last season, he enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Matic, I think he's also going next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Surprisingly, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder we've got. Despite Matic having his good games at Man United, I've got my reservations about him, and I'll always have my reservations about him because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up. Matic has been at Manchester United for 4.5 years now, is it? Got him from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. Juan Mata, I think he's definitely going next year. Juan Mata's contract at Man United expires next summer. Earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why we triggered Mata's contract for a further year because he doesn't even get in the team. Plus he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace. But I think Mata's a very good player and I reckon that he's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. Mata's been a long-serving player at the club as well. He's been at Man United for 7.5 years now. Been with us since the Moyes era. We got Mata for 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. And at the first part of last season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. I think Martial, he's another player that's going next year. Martial doesn't get in the team. He's inconsistent now anyway, and not so long ago he come back from injury. The best season Martial had was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Last season Martial was out with a knee injury for a while. Before the start of this season it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in Martial. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Martial's been at Man United for 6.5 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract, and we got him in a deal worth, 57, 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Cavani, I think he's going next year as well. Can't say I want him to leave though, with the impact he's made since he's come to Man United. You know, Cavani's hold-up play is good, his movement in and around the box is good, he creates very good chances and he scores very good goals. The other week against Tottenham, he played alongside Ronaldo, and that was very intriguing because Cavani and Ronaldo do play well together. Cavani scored a very good goal against Tottenham. By the way, Cavani's out until December now with injury. That's pretty bad news from Man United perspective. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. Back in May, he signed that 1-year contract extension. We got Cavani on a free transfer. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. I think Telles is going next year as well, because Telles doesn't really get in the team. Telles will only play when Luke Shaw's not available, but I've got to give Telles some credit because I think in some of the games he has been involved in, he has been consistent. Telles was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Telles in though was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. And then obviously we seem to get the best out of Shaw, but Shaw's actually been poor so far this season. But revert back to Telles, you know, Man United got him in a deal worth 15.4 million from Porto last year. I think Dalot's also going next year. Dalot doesn't get in the team, does he? Much. Dalot's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, so Dalot will only play when Bissaka is not available. Dalot's done well in some games he's played in for Man United, to his credit. You know, last season he was out on loan with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot around 3 years or so ago now, paid £19 million for him from Porto. We did bring him in under the Jose Mourinho era. Jones, he's going next year as well. Jones doesn't get in the team, does he? And I'd say he's always been inconsistent. Jones at one point was out with a knee injury for a while. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. This season is Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. I think Eric Bailly, he's going next year as well because Bailly doesn't get regular game time. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago because of the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window. For some reason, Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Bailly. I don't want Bailly to go because he's a good centre-half, but he is injury-prone, which is a big concern. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. And I think Dean Henderson is going out on loan next year. He wants to go out on loan because obviously Henderson is not getting his opportunities now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season. That was the game against West Ham in the Cup. At one point though, Henderson was out with COVID for a while, but Henderson did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. At one point last season, Henderson got that number 1 jersey. So anyway guys, there'll be another video coming up later on. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.